trouble, it's time you bust out that one thing that you know that you always have in your back pocket, and that is the Lost Vikings. HeroesHearth, he said, I'm not going down at my first BlizzCon without playing the hero I'm known for.
And being the guy who is a RTS master, an ex-RTS pro, I think it's only fitting that he found a way to play an RTS within the MOBA genre at the BlizzCon stage here with the Lost Vikings. But as I said, there was a lot of different ways to make that happen. And there's a lot I want to add about the draft and the intricacies of how I think HeroesHearth, actually, that Phoenix pick is very, very valuable as things move on. But first here, we got to get the introductions. In the blue, we have Hanzo, played by Crowan. BBJ is going to be on the Deckard Cain. We've got McIntyre firing it up on Blaze. Ishbu playing that Garrosh, and Homicidal on Phoenix. Give it up for HeroesHearth eSports.
On the right side, we have Team Liquid, and that's going to be Sport Billy on the front line on Anubarak. Eternal will be on the Vikings. This is an interesting mix-up, as it's going to be Arcaner on the Tracer, Nurok on Tyrande, and Hasuams will be on the Jaina. So as much hype as we gave the man, the myth, the legend, it is a mix-up, but nonetheless, this is Team Liquid.
All right, so one thing that I want to bring up here, when playing against Vikings, one of the biggest things you need to make happen on any battleground, but especially that of Dragonshire, when macro is so very important, is you need independent wave clear in every single lane. And that is where the Phoenix is able to make up for that. Hold up, though. Ishbu, maybe with a bold transition there. Arcaner kind of being the mosquito he will be throughout this game. But let's bring it back to the draft. Hanzo, post 4, explosive arrows, he's got the clear. Blaze, very comfortable in that avenue as well. And then that Phoenix, very good to have another backliner for that clear. So they can go triple solo lanes, and that is where Vikings get heavily crippled, is Hami with a great path there.
You gotta love it. Just a shade of fog is all you need. I also want to double down on that. I mean, you have the wave clear with the Phoenix, but one thing that Phoenix does against a Tracer is when you get the pulse bomb on you, if you time your warp correctly, that pulse bomb just detonates on nothing.
It's a straight iframe. Just no damage, no problem.
So there are several reasons behind that. We'll see how it unfolds, because this is a very unique draft. When you have numbers advantage, you can maybe make some plays, but Ishbu eating a lot of damage, including the pulse bomb. However, they will get the first kill onto the Anubarak, and HeroesHearth has executed and taken away this siege camp away from Team Liquid.
Really good job there from Ishbu, getting a lot of damage coming out to him early on, able to eat the whole pulse bomb at a healthy percentage to make sure that the armor adds up, he can keep himself alive. And then, as I said in the draft, the second that Anubarak comes out, what is the game plan for HeroesHearth? It is squash the bug. That is something I think we will see throughout this game. And already seeing HeroesHearth capitalize on that, I'm going, Eternal, you've got to justify this Lost Vikings pick quick.
Well, it's going to be difficult, but the stuns come in. Ishbu continue to take damage, but that is a very tanky Garrosh. When you see the Anubarak, everywhere you see it Dreadnought, it's primarily with the Yrel if you look at the Korean region, but beyond that, it's normally the Blaze for the very reason, because he can get popped very quickly. We'll see how exactly he holds up as Ishbu holding position. Arcaner coming in, the stun, the pulse bomb, and that's going to be a kill there for Team Liquid.
In a really good position for one of those Vikings to be able to make the transition up and pick that up. We already see Homicidal waiting on the side, though. He will be able to get that clear. Blaze dealing with that Eric on the top lane, and a kill on the bottom half in the process. Team Liquid now winning on all fronts.
Look, Dread, they've got firepower galore. When you talk about the Jaina and the Tracer, Arcaner on that Tracer is terrifying, showing that he is one of the best. When we talked to him previously going into BlizzCon, he said, I want to be the best. I've worked so hard at this. He has convinced me that he is one of the best. Some of his play throughout opening week has been stellar. He's going to continue to try and make plays here. He's also going to grab first DK of the game here for Team Liquid.
And Team Liquid, the more they're able to open up this map, the better, as HeroesHearth has been able to find that macro control with that triple wave clear and those solo lanes like I was talking about before. And if that doesn't happen and structural integrity goes in favor of Team Liquid, they could be in a position where the playground for that Jaina and the Tracer, Arcaner there, suddenly gets a lot bigger, and that is when she is a thriving hero. Suddenly the kill potential becomes, it's not even close, really. The only hero that can keep up with that is going to be an Illidan here. So Liquid, as they focus down the front walls, find themselves with a big tone setter, but by no means is this too far out of the range considering the comp of HeroesHearth.
Well, HeroesHearth will defend for now, but they do find themselves down in terms of experience. They're doing their best to hold those lanes. You can just watch your mini-map and watch that Blaze move up and down, trying to get that double lane soak, while the rest of the team trying to keep up and deal with the Dragon Knight. But Team Liquid, with that first DK, the first few kills after that initial loss of the invade, seems to be saying, hey, this is a real strat. Good luck dealing with it. And HeroesHearth, they've got a lot to do to adapt along the way.
And I think one of the starting points for that adaptation is going to be in Mercenaries. Not only in the invade, but mainly when it comes to the priority of them and which ones we see stacked versus not stacked from HeroesHearth eSports. And the downtime, Liquid looking over towards their Night Camp Mercenaries, and they're going to find it for themselves. Blaze dealing with that with both Vikings sieging up. That's actually a very good, difficult position for him. So HeroesHearth, though they have the double stack on bottom, I still feel like they're the ones who have to figure out a solution over this Mercenary rotation. And personally, I actually think it's rotating top. Sitting on bottom like normal is going to set them back quite a bit here.
Well, you can actually see the prioritization. The Jaina fits so well because she has the Wave Clear. Arcaner even using that Pulse Bomb on the other Siege Giant to clear that out. That's where a lot of the damage comes in. But the Night Camp still healthy here as HeroesHearth pushing in this bottom lane, trying to get some of this experience back. And it looks like Dread, they're going to take the first fort of the game.
They're going to take the first fort of the game, but they are sacrificing the experience on top. That Night Camp with the double Vikings is very likely going to pick up the fort eventually.
Dread, they are going in.
Yeah, the answer is that why do you see HeroesHearth doing this? Is because they realize if they keep dancing, they're never going to keep up. So if we just 5-man bottom and all in, we can make up for that into the earlier stages. Yes, this is good for now, but eventually they still have to answer and find a way to get themselves a reasonable and realistic engagement.
Yeah, you make a good point, because once you push in once, the next time, I mean, you're literally walking into a keep, maybe more, and right now the structures fall. HeroesHearth Dread with that Knight still alive, providing that spell armor, now moves into keep range. Arcaner trying to track down the slow. The stun coming in for Hasu, continuing to track down, just misses that bolt there, and now HeroesHearth, they got the entire fort, they got the keep wall, but as you mentioned, they gave up that top lane. The Vikings, though, face a similar situation.
And as the game moves on, those Vikings will be able to backdoor a lot of the shrines and threaten that Dragon Knight more and more frequently. And Jay, how I feel like there is already a moment we can look to in the future that if HeroesHearth struggles in, it may be a very bad circumstance for them. And that is over the next stacking of Mercenaries on bottom. This Dragon Knight should go over to Liquid. Liquid should have a big power spike over the next couple of minutes. But then when HeroesHearth suddenly does the exact same thing that we just saw in the next rotation, if they fail to be able to pick up that bottom keep, suddenly this game goes Liquid's favor from beginning to end, and it's all thanks to that clever Vikings pick at the back end and the control it's given them over Shrine.
Well, remember, one of those Vikings is in the DK, and 10 right around the corner for HeroesHearth can look to take a team fight, see if they might try and pull that here. Heroics locked in. The bottom fort will fall. HeroesHearth, see what their response will be. Hiding that Blaze for now. I think they're looking for a team fight momentarily if they can get it.
Sport Billy moving up with the anchor. We get the flip over. No Warlord's challenge attempt there as the Pulse Bomb ends up dropping onto Ishbu. He gets a nice pot there out from BBJ, and he's going to be just fine. Dragon Knight still falling very low, but there is only a Viking within this here. Not going to be too concerning if you are this little Olaf, though it is sad to see our cute little friend go down. He's only 1/3 of a hero, and that is not putting him down.
That's about as hashtag worth as it gets right there. Team Liquid coming out with a strategy and executing it here as we round the 7-minute mark. And they have a level and a half lead over HeroesHearth.
Mercenaries are available, at least Giants. Bottom Mercenaries soon. There we see Ishbu going to be a focus. He's got a heal there. Dragon's Arrow ends up going through. He's very low. The armor there. The salvo goes out. And look at that.
Oh my
able
goodness.
to survive. And ends up dropping, but Crowan shows no mercy. Natural agility over and gets a kill for HeroesHearth.
I thought he might have got away with one because that burrow charge out was timely, but the track down a little better there as Team Liquid still holds that full level lead, but HeroesHearth, they needed that kill. And that buys them some time to start to get control of the map again. You mentioned that bottom lane push and the top lane push respectively by HeroesHearth and Team Liquid. HeroesHearth, see what adaptability they have going forward now, because with that bottom lane down, do you make another push towards that double camp? And it looks like they're going to do just that.
If you are HeroesHearth in this situation, I would love to see the Giants, or excuse me, the Giants and the Knights in the Giants play. There's a 20-second difference from that bottom Night Camp, which is just about to spawn for HeroesHearth eSports. You see the Giants picked up. Here's going to be the stacking of the Mercenaries. And honestly, Jayhow, taking a fight into the Lost Vikings, 13-12, is probably one of the best fights HeroesHearth is going to find. I like this call from HeroesHearth eSports, but as I said before, this could be a huge, huge breaking point.
See if HeroesHearth can repeat that earlier push, as they have part of the team split, but no 13 tier yet for HeroesHearth. Camp picked up. Shrines active here in 2 seconds. Siege camp dealt with. HeroesHearth, they've got some more questions to answer. He's away.
Zarek able to make it himself out there. Another scatter arrow thrown out by Crowan. Giant Camp picked up by Team Liquid, able to skirt away from that one as we already see Top Shrine in control of Team Liquid thanks to one of those
going for it.
Yeah, they have to. Again, this is how they have to play this battleground in the
backdoor cap.
They have to be able to get enough. As you said, the backdoor cap is going to be there. Dragon Knight will be picked up by Team Liquid here.
Dread, they might go for more than keep here.
Yeah,
they might try and make that play. Right now, they willingly gave that up. This is going to be a 5-man push as the DK will respond on the other side. HeroesHearth moves forward to try and take down this keep. Early structure damage is in. Ishbu zoning out will land that CNP can grab onto Arcaner. HeroesHearth, they're trying to push in as the return damage from Hasu comes down from the Blizzard.
And the bunker has not been forced. That's the biggest sieging tool. This is going to be HeroesHearth. Go for it. They find the jet propulsion onto Jaina. Scroll of ceiling going to be thrown out.
Here we go!
Down. There's the bunker. Flamethrower. Salvo. Everything out there. And Jaina goes down. HeroesHearth now focus towards the core.
That's going to be a race here as we see the keep, the core starting to fall. The keep on the other side.
Dragon Knight's
DK starting to do work. HeroesHearth, they're trying to clinch this series. The Stay Wild Listen will buy space. The shields have fallen. HeroesHearth holding. Sport Billy goes in, but the taunt onto Arcaner. He gets out of there. The pulse bomb misses. HeroesHearth holding on for now, but they're starting to fold.
McIntyre ends up dropping there, and the Dragon Knight still trying to get through the shielding. It will not do that, ladies and gentlemen. This Dragon Knight is a baby Dragon Knight, just like this Viking. It is so weak, it cannot get too much damage out as it goes down. 97 on the core of HeroesHearth eSports, 91 there for Team Liquid, but Team Liquid rounding that 16 with a 2-man advantage. This is their game to lose at this point in time.
That owl hit, that's the slowing at the 13. That's going to help confirm another kill here. BBJ is going to have to sacrifice himself. HeroesHearth will try and pick up the chips and fall back. Team Liquid moving down this spot lane. That was a clutch sentinel that came out there from Nurok.
Great job there from Nurok. And the control still heavily in favor now of Liquid. With the pressure that they have been able to accumulate through bottom, matching the keep for keep of HeroesHearth eSports. They need to force an advantage, and more importantly, a Dragon Knight J-How with this 16 talent tier advantage. Otherwise, HeroesHearth, Crowan post-bombed over, actually survives. Otherwise, HeroesHearth is going to double stack Mercenaries and all in the game once again through bottom. And if the Dragon Knight's not there, it might be going the other way, unlike what we saw here so far through most of this game, and Liquid very much in control.
Dread, we've seen HeroesHearth. First push down that bottom lane, got all the way through. Second push, made it all the way to the core and fell there. Are we going to see a third? I mean, their answers so far have been just push down that bot lane as hard as you can, trade out as much, but with this deficit in experience, it's very difficult to come back in these situations.
Yeah, one of the few ways that you can make up for this composition is only if you identify it very, very early into the game, and that is running a very aggressive 2-1-2. Whenever the Vikings are sitting out elsewhere, they can't defend against a 2-man siege, neither can really a 2 versus 2 with the Vikings themselves. So you just go, where is Liquid? We pressure on the opposite side of the map, get that back and forth. But HeroesHearth did not do this fast enough, and at this point, they have legitimately put all their eggs in that bottom lane. That is the only win condition, that is the only thing they are looking for. But Liquid has not done enough with this 16 window. If somehow HeroesHearth holds off, gets a fight at 16-16, Liquid maybe gave up an opportunity to have a clean Dragonshire game.
Well, here we go. HeroesHearth hiding in the bush, trying to catch someone out. Blaze will see Crowan in that position. Now with both shrines captured, Team Liquid will look to try and pick up a DK. It's starting to get late enough in the game for that DK to have that impact. You have Arcaner getting that pulse bomb, getting one kill is all it will take with a DK to end this game. And Team Liquid, they will play the long game. The Vikings are pushed out. You just look at the minimap, and they are so far down the lane. That camp will only empower the top, but 16 Dreadnought starting to spring up here for HeroesHearth.
And when 16 is hit, I expect HeroesHearth to get it all in. You'll see the Dragon's Arrow very, very quickly. Hold on, the Welly is going to be dropped by Hasuwab's flank on the back end. No 16 picked up, but no problem. Jaina's going to be the focus. Bunker goes out. It's double kill for HeroesHearth eSports down to talent tier, and they do not care.
Ancient Blessings just popped. Stay while not able to grab somebody in place, but they might try and make a play of their own, see if they can pick up a DK. The warp out of that pulse bomb was enough to keep Hami alive in the clutchest of situations.
And J-How with all the preparation done now in that southern lane, though the Knights will be able to secure that top four. HeroesHearth is not looking for keeps anymore. They are looking for a way to end this game. No bunker Joker to be able to siege onto the core for another 49, but they will find a way to threaten out that Dragon Knight in this downtime, or need to find a way if they are going to have an opportunity to close out this game.
Well, here we go. They're willing to give up that top keep. They're willing to make their own play. The decision has been made here. HeroesHearth will pick up the Night Camp here in the bottom. 20 getting close for Team Liquid, and now HeroesHearth Dreadnought, their sights are set. As you can see them clearing this bottom lane. Here we go.
But look at this counter response from Liquid. Will HeroesHearth
backdoor
here? There's
back
no
door.
vision. They don't know. Team Liquid is going to go for the core before HeroesHearth can even make their way in.
Backdoor!
It's going to be a base race. Shielding already removed by Team Liquid. No way for HeroesHearth to be able to get the defense. There is the play again. Vikings wailing away. Pulse bomb down. And look at this. Team Liquid fight back and claim game number 2, tying up this series 1-1.
Woo! We got ourselves a series now.
Great play there from Team Liquid, and an amazing display of how to use the Lost Vikings on a small battleground. For so long, they were rumored to be the only uncursed hollows and things of the like. But as we see, it is not the case here at the HGC Finals.
Not even close. Not close at all. Don't worry about it. Calculated. But what was weird to me, and Tetcher, I think you'll agree with me, that was no Hasuab's Vikings.
Eternal's Vikings is really good. That's fantastic to see, because what that also means is we did see Hasu on that Jaina, and being able to slow the also backdoor attempt of HeroesHearth at the end there, the big AoE damage in the fights. There was some really cool stuff there, and Eternal, so much of it came down to him.
Decision making from all points was phenomenal that game.
It very much was. I feel like the Vikings were the one putting the pressure on HeroesHearth, but HeroesHearth, you could see, they realized very quick, maybe not as quick as they needed to, but they definitely identified very early on, this is going to be a problem if we don't find a win condition. So they tried to set themselves up for that, but Vikings, it was just too strong, too much clear.
Well, let's remember the fact that in the past, that kind of split pressure has been done for HeroesHearth eSports by Arthalon. And now having Hami, they realized that they needed to make sure that they readjusted, realigned their expectations and their priorities in game. And this being able to figure that out, Jayhao, even though it may have come late, still making that kind of plan and sticking to it was great to see for HeroesHearth. It nearly gave them the 2-0 win.
It was close. I mean, it was so close, and a faster rotation, but the Vikings were there instantly, maybe getting some vision control to play around that. It's one of those things that when you realize it maybe 5 seconds too late, and you're like, I think they got us. And that's a tough one, you know, when you know you got there, and you just try and recover. They did have a good response, and they did commit to it, but it just wasn't enough as Team Liquid clutched that one out.
And that's exactly what I want to highlight here. The fact is, HeroesHearth just haven't experienced playing against this kind of composition, but when they pulled the trigger, they pulled the trigger. As we're going to see the fight around here, amazing wraparound from Blaze. Let's pause it here. We have the beautiful Shadow Stalk coming in. It's giving them the extra protection, but by this point, Homi is already moving in. He's getting ready with this salvo, and he is going to get basically everyone in this. Let's run it forward and just see the devastation here as Eternal is delivered the bunker to block any escape potential. And even, let's run it back a little bit here to see this again, even Homi able to avoid getting picked off here by Tracer as Tracer goes in for the dive, run it forward, and tries to finish him off. But Homi, he is able to get the teleport to avoid the parting gift from Tracer and get himself to safety as well. When HeroesHearth were in the right position, they pulled the trigger and they executed perfectly, but they do not have experience against this kind of composition.
At the tail end of that, if you catch some Ancient Blessings was popped, the stay a while, everybody, if you get one more kill there, that's actually game for HeroesHearth. That's the difference in just that small decision making of, okay, we've lost, let's get out of here, let's cut our losses. That's the difference. If you stick around 1 second longer, it's game over. And HeroesHearth is clapping their hands up 2-0. So Team Liquid, they held. I mean, that was a great play by HeroesHearth, but Team Liquid able to identify, look, we lost that part. We have not lost the war, just the battle.
These games, both games, have been so close. HeroesHearth, they have the crowd. Team Liquid now have the momentum. After the break, we'll find out who has the victory. See you soon for more of the HGC Finals.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA. Check out the new Blizzard eSports mobile app. For the first time ever, all Blizzard eSports content can be found in one place. Get the latest news and schedules for your favorite events all year long. Set alerts for tune-in reminders so you can watch live, and check scores to stay up to date. You can even tailor the look of the app to match your favorite game, and look forward to even more features coming in 2019. Download the Blizzard eSports mobile app now. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Global Games. New for the second season, we're proud to introduce HGG Cheer. Cheering is a way to show support for players and regions while boosting your presence in chat using bits, a virtual good you can buy on Twitch. Along the way, you'll unlock Hearthstone packs, new Twitch emotes, and a unique card back, while the players earn a share of the revenue. We'll see you in the tavern.
In the Overwatch League, you're hyping up the chat, taking your team to hashtag trending, and spreading memes at tracer level speed.
All while watching us cap the point.
Speed like that deserves a network that can keep up. With T-Mobile, get all the Overwatch League you can handle with coast-to-coast coverage. Now your arena is where you make it.
one more game to determine which team gets the honor, the privilege of facing Gen G in the semifinals. It's going to be tough, but it's been tough this whole series so far. HeroesHearth versus Team Liquid. HeroesHearth, they have the crowd on their side for the most part. There's some Team Liquid fans, but Tetcher, now the momentum, it's on Team Liquid's side.
Team Liquid, they busted out something HeroesHearth weren't prepared for, and even though HeroesHearth put up a good fight, they were able to bring it home. Like you said, momentum is now on their side. They have a good chance of being able to select the next map, so they could maybe set themselves up for even more shenanigans, as HeroesHearth, like most teams these days, do seem to prefer first pick.
I'm curious if they do that, because we saw the direction, as Dredd mentioned, in the first draft, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, do we want to have another Lost Vikings map and take away one of our bans, even though that might not be one of our strategies? So it might be something for HeroesHearth to be like, look, we're going to go to one of our strengths. We're going to take away some potential options. So that is a curious decision. I agree.
And not only do you remove options when it comes to battleground and viability of specific heroes, but you just remove the last pick slot. It just straight up takes it away as an opportunity. So knowing that, yes, you may give up the power picks of the synergy between like the Garrosh and the Decker priorities that we get out of Liquid, you put yourself in a position where you can't get TLV'd. And I would argue a lot of that game came down to just the surprise pick that NA didn't expect.
I'd love to hear from any of you. Who do you feel has a better shot at being able to bring games off of Gen G, maybe even take out Gen G? Because Team Liquid, yeah, they've done it once before. They got a win in that game, but it was, they lost the early game. They had to bring it back by some good combos. But HeroesHearth eSports also has that variety that Rich talked about.
I think both of them have enough uniqueness about the way that they play in the drafts that they can come up with.
Sure.
Plus, I think they're very skilled individual players on both sides. I'm not saying that they would come in and maybe win the series. That would be difficult, but I think both teams are very capable.
Well, what we have seen so far in the Battlegrounds is a little bit of HeroesHearth flair being able to out-macro on Towers of Doom. Then the Vikings emerged on HeroesHearth pick of Dragonshire, and now we're going to an even Battleground. Yes, HeroesHearth picked it, and yes, HeroesHearth has chosen Tomb versus a European team. But like at the Western Clash, Freedom have shown that North America is starting to play well on Tomb, and this is a place that HeroesHearth feels comfortable.
HeroesHearth has been very, very comfortable to select this Battleground since North America has picked up Dragonshire. It seems like the other small Battlegrounds were something that we were comfortable, you know, bringing into the arsenal here, but something that we have seen. I've been talking about the patterns of Team Liquid. Now it's time to highlight a very consistent one, that of HeroesHearth, and that is the Johanna priority. They have been putting that above all else and will deal well with the opportunities of the Garrosh, likely from Sport Billy, but I feel like this is an exploitable opportunity if you are Team Liquid, assuming that it's going to be that warrior, and then find ways to gain control at other parts, because it's so safe of a warrior pick.
But both of the teams have highly prioritized Johanna, and now so much so that Team Liquid is willing to ban her away and taking away Abathur, despite it being Inira.
I'm over here doing
the Kerrigan.
Pointy Kerrigan thingy. You don't want to do that into a Garrosh, though.
Yeah, Sport Billy getting his Garrosh once again, but it's showing here with that Johanna ban that once again Team Liquid have done their homework. The fact is, HeroesHearth since mid-season Brawl have played Tomb of the Spider Queen more than any other map. 13 games on this map, and they have been very effective on it with a 77% win rate, and so many of those did come down to that Johanna.
The one thing that I love about this early Blaze pickup is that what you can see from European teams is put the oil down if you're Blaze, allowing Garrosh to make up the distance and get the slow enabled for him, but it also counters Garrosh in the same respect. So I really like this early Blaze pickup by HeroesHearth.
And it's a heavy denial to some of the priorities that we have gotten from the members of Team Liquid. They've been picking up that Blaze very, very frequently when they have the opportunity to do so. And so I like it as well, also because it removes some of the, you know, counterplay around the Tyrande itself, having the opportunity to create the bunker to the Lunar Flare kill target. But the Phoenix and the Jaina pickup, good synergy here, but it's a higher Phoenix value than we've seen for the most part here from Team Liquid. And I can't help but wonder if that is something that HeroesHearth can find a way to take advantage of here in the laning phase.
Well, there's no Decker Kane yet. Putting that over Decker Kane with the Tyrande pick, that is possibly something that HeroesHearth could want to ban away.
And there it is.
The one thing that I like about the Phoenix and the Jaina early is that now all of a sudden it's like, all right, where does your damage come from? That's something that we've seen a lot, but also coming into this draft, it feels like Malthael could have been another option because you have that viability with Hami to play another melee around that. It's like, okay, we took away the Johanna and we've taken away a significant amount of wave clear, so you have to make up for wave clear elsewhere, and the Malthael Blaze is not as appealing in that regard.
Diablo being taken out here. Now, Diablo during the opening week was punished repeatedly by Garroshes, But in this case, it's less about the tank-into-tank matchup, but more about the backliners. There's a lot of walls on this map, and Phoenix, if you can interrupt his warp, you are going to be able to punish him. But it does still leave a Nubarak open, another very aggressive setup for Tyrande.
And one of the things I was wondering is within the 2-3 with the Phoenix Jaina, if that would be something that might punish on the world of Phoenix, but I want to highlight that Jaina selection. I feel like that was a very clever pickup from them, not having the opportunity to move into the Jaina for the kill potential, and more importantly, the wave clear opportunities there for HeroesHearth eSports. Yes, Hanzo can make up for that a little bit, but not near the kill potential and burst opportunities post a Nubarak impale there, so very well done from Liquid.
No Sergeant Hammer. That's always something you have to consider against a Garrosh. That's kind of been the #1. Tomb of the Spider Queen, maybe not the most appealing. Hanzo very likely will be played by Krohn, so it's not necessarily the Hami pick that you would expect. Ooh.
A Zeratul to finish it up. Yet another follow-up burst for this composition. It is going into an Arthas. If Arthas is able to get onto Zeratul at his wormhole point, they might be able to punish him very well. This draft of Team Liquid has a lot of slows, and the fact is Arthas, Icebound Fortitude, Garrosh with his Indomitable. This front line is pretty resilient to the amount of CC that HeroesHearth are running.
Yeah, it's something that HeroesHearth can do with Hami is put him on Blaze and then allow McIntyre to play that Zeratul.
And that's what I'm expecting to be able to see here. McIntyre has had, I would argue, actually one of the better Zeratul performances at this tournament. And though, yes, the front line of Team Liquid can survive a Zeratul, the one who can't is a Malfurion. He is just dead. Yep. There is no ice block. He is just 100% dead. Post 16, there is no world you don't just one-shot him. It's Q, wait, Vorpal, Q, there's a void. Okay, he's a dead Malfurion. And so I have a lot of concern now. If it does make it to a dead even later stage of the game, I go HeroesHearth. You have the team fight capabilities. Malf can't heal through this. Don't worry about the front line. Just dive onto the back.
Let me take it one step further. This is probably our most hype match of the day. We're in game 3. Let's do some predictions. Tetcher, who you got?
The Malfurion is so at risk that it concerns me, but I've got to have faith in Sport Billy's Garrosh into the fray might be the one saving grace that they might have here. I'm going for Team Liquid.
I couldn't agree with Dread more. I mean, the idea that Jaina also has to finish her baseline quest just to have an ice block for herself, it's going to be difficult against this composition. I'm on the side for HeroesHearth this draft.
And the one thing that I haven't brought up yet is in every iteration, Liquid has done this. There's been a Yrel armor stack with the Malfurion and the Garrosh to keep him alive. It's not the case here. I'm going with that's going to be a dead Malf post 16, and this is HeroesHearth's game.
I'm hosting, so I get to be biased. And I've got NA all the way. HeroesHearth's gonna take it, but I can't wait for this game. Let's get it going.
Dreadnought's going to come down to all 3 games here, something that after game #1, you wonder how would this play out. The Lost Vikings turn the tide, but you take away all the craziness, and now we've got Tomb, which we know there's going to be a lot of action on.
A lot of action. I feel such a bold statement, not so much when looking at just HeroesHearth, but knowing that at any level at the HGC Finals, North America is willing to put it all on the line against Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's very fitting, but let's get into it here.
Here we go. It's going to be Krohn on his familiar Hanzo. We know what he can do. BBJ will be on the Tyrande. McIntyre, he says, look, I've been styling on people all week long. Give me a Zeratul again. Ishbu will be on a Nubarak. Hami will be on Blaze. Give it up for HeroesHearth.
And in the red, we're going to have Garrosh, played by Sport Billy. Eternal going to be on that Arthas in the off lane. Arcaner on the Phoenix. Nurak is going to be playing that Malfurion, and here we see Jaina, played by Hasuwabs. Let's hear it for Team Liquid!
The adaptation of our Phoenix players against dive-style heroes to go with that. Look, I auto-attack, my auto-attacks, every time I move, they become that much stronger. We saw it previously on the other side. It's when you have those dive counters, those Zeratuls, things like that, they can't stay as long. You can pepper down the Anubarak. You don't have to go into the Arsenal synergy. So Team Liquid with the early adaptation for that bodes well to everything we just discussed for these team fights and the dive style we're going to get from HeroesHearth.
And Liquid here is already dominating when it comes to the control over the battleground itself. When looking at that laning situation, the fact that it's a 1-3-1 from HeroesHearth shows that they are understanding of the difficult circumstances that they're under. They need to find a way to set up an impale kill potential combo, but until we hit that 4th threshold with the explosive arrows, it is kind of out of the realm of possibilities. So expect Liquid to be the bullies for the first couple of levels and still likely a little bit beyond that threshold.
The Johanna band just plays into everything Team Liquid is trying to accomplish to all those points you just made. So we'll see how that does play out here. It seems like that bottom lane control, when you have the Jaina, you can just double rotate. That bottom lane will require some attention over time. You can even see the play towards those Siege Giants potentially in the very near future.
Yeah, I think it was a really cheeky play within the 2-3 of the draft from Team Liquid with that high Phoenix adjustment and things of the like. The question is just, did that wave clear decision making within the draft pay off for the lack of URL and the vulnerabilities of knowing they don't have that Decker Cane like they have and find themselves on the Malfurion? And that really is what is going to come to light here on 2.
Dread, I can't help but go back to the words you said about it's about level 4 for Hanzo. So this is a great adaptation by Team Liquid. They're like, they have bad wave clear until level 4. You even get bonus on Zeratul. So let's force our advantage early. They're picking up a night camp before the Siege Giant because they have the significant wave clear. They have the pushing advantage. And before HeroesHearth has the wave clear, they're going to get caught here. He's in trouble. There's the Groundbreaker. The agility will buy time. And you can see Eternal just living on that front line as Ishbu and team try to survive. But Hami will be first blood.
Great job there from Team Liquid, not only capitalizing when it came to the macro due to the compositional flaw, if you will, of HeroesHearth, but then finding a way to gain the upper hand even further with some greedy kind of transitions out from them. This allows for 29 gems to be put on reserve for Team Liquid for now. But the biggest thing is the fact that the experience is pretty heavily against them. It should be noted that mid lane is kind of big. That's going to help HeroesHearth catch up a smidge, but we're talking about a quarter level, a third of a level advantage already here for Liquid.
I think it's also important to note, Dread, you and I, we've watched a lot of Tomb games. We always see if you get that early mid lane pressure, you get some damage, you take the gate down, but then you get some pressure onto those towers, maybe even take one down with that early camp. Then that experience is banked in the fort when you get those web weavers, and that's how we see teams potentially snowball in that. So it is a very real threat against HeroesHearth.
And I think it even gets worse when talking about the Jaina rotations you highlighted for Hasu on that bottom lane. What that has done is made it like, if this first web weaver phase goes Liquid, they get the siege, get the fort, that bottom rotation is going to happen quick and likely a kill behind it with all the slows available for Eternal and friends. Because the distance of safety on bottom fort on Tomb of the Spider Queen is colossal comparative to most small battlegrounds. A turn-in attempt here kind of being thwarted from both sides as 20 gems exist here for HeroesHearth and still 29 for Liquid.
Team Liquid actually did something against Gen G that was really special. They were on the right side as well, and with that rotation you mentioned, they just went through that small choke, dove that bottom fort, and every solo laner that I've ever seen get caught in that position never makes it out. And that's something that HeroesHearth will have to prepare for if that fort does fall early, but there's going to be another route to track down. Hami will live using that Pyromania though.
Very early use of the Pyromania. So we see Hanzo trying to get that threat onto Sport. Billy Crowan doing his best, but with so much threat done towards that bottom lane with the Blaze, I think it's unlikely Liquid, or excuse me, HeroesHearth can make too big of a power play at this point in time. Once the 7 threshold hits, Liquid would like to find a way to get those turn-in, but Jayhow, HeroesHearth is actually the one eking in these kind of baby turn-ins far quicker than Liquid.
Yeah, they'd love to
Eternal.
get those in. Eternal, he's going to be dove upon. See if he can survive. Eternal living, using everything he can to stay alive, and they're going to turn it. That's going to be a kill onto Ishbu. Every time you go in, Dreadnought, if you do not get a kill as a Nubarek, it is very difficult to make your way out. 10 will be needed, but now Hami's being tossed in.
Yeah, got the flip over. Body block into the jet propulsion, roots down, and that is a double now for Team Liquid. Making a triple as they find themselves a nice Groundbreaker. Natural agility allows Crowan to get the heal, get the tap, and survive. But my goodness, talk about dominance assertive here from Europe.
Well, now this is a tough spot for HeroesHearth to be in. This is a very good call to get this camp to defend mid, but if this falls quickly, which Jaina can burst through that spell armor very rapidly, but this bottom lane, I think this is why we see Ishbu down here. Blaze will make his way down, but if Team Liquid can get that push through that mid lane, they might make a quick rotation towards the bottom and try and get a gank and really try and spiral this game out of control. You can see HeroesHearth putting everything that they have into the defense here in the mid lane.
Not any too much heavy aggression as Jaina is now going to make the rotation down. McIntyre dealing with the top wave. This is where Jaina would look for a pick if they can find it. Ishbu able to get a burrow charge away. Lunar Flare pushing Liquid back a little bit longer. Let's see their transition. Is it top or is it bottom? I'd like to see bottom with so much threat, but actually if you look at it, because Eternal is already dominating there, it really would just be a bit of a wasted rotation. Normally you'd say this is the way you make that transition out, but at this point in time, Eternal's like, I'm Arthas, I've got bottom lane by myself. Boys, figure something else out here, as 10's just around the corner now.
That fort netted about 40% of the XP needed to go from 9 to 10, and now we're looking at 10 to 9 here momentarily. It's just still 8 3/4 for HeroesHearth, so they'll have to bide their time for now. And we look at the gem count, Dreadnought, Team Liquid 1 gem shy of having enough for a turn-in. You can believe that's right there in that wave. So it is something, though, we've seen teams, when you use everything you have, and McIntyre, he's not making it out of there.
Great job with the use of the welly there. That's part of the reason that was able to get that kill. Is Zeratul, if you end up getting the slow with 1 Ice Lance, he's going to use the teleport, but then if you drop that Water Elemental, get the auto attack slow, he's not going to wormhole back, and that is Hasu taking advantage not only of the heroics, but the mispositioning there of McIntyre, and now allowing the rest of the squad to drop some of those gems off. And as you were talking about before, having a back-to-back Web Weaver phase with that heroic advantage, I mean, this is devastation when looking at, you know, ideal circumstances of Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, it's up to level 10 for HeroesHearth to get back into this game. They want it, they need it to get back in. But when you see a fort fall, potentially 2 with that threat of heroics, you're going to be looking at 11.5, 12 by the end of that. And then Team Liquid can maybe deny until they get to 13 and then play that 13 to 10, 13 to 11 game. So that's always the threat, the snowball potential of this map and the denial. But with HeroesHearth, they have the potential to take a team fight to really get aggressive post-level 10, even with a deficit. So it's such an interesting moment to see the way teams handle this, because compositionally it's different every single time.
And it does feel like it is at a moment in a kind of a, you know, situation to where if HeroesHearth cannot figure out how to deal with this, don't find themselves a 10s picked up, maybe a void pick, a void prison isolation pick, they're going to be in a situation where the macro is so heavy, not only compositionally, but more importantly, structurally against them, that I don't know if they have the opportunity to return. And I think a lot of this, Jay Howe, is all due to a really smart choice that was made early on, and you pointed it out, is if Hanzo doesn't have wave clear until 4, do whatever you want pre-4. That night camp set up so much on the poor rotations out from HeroesHearth that it's just snowballed back to back since that one moment, that one decision on their end.
It's really hard when we get to that moment to say, here's what it will look like, because what it ended up looking like was HeroesHearth desperately needing to get that night camp and put everything into the defense mid, and that's how you saw that bottom fort fall. It's no accident that Team Liquid is in the position that they are in, and I think that's something that if you could paint a picture and then maybe try and say, all right, this is what it could look like, this is what it would look like. So Team Liquid very clearly taking control of this game.
I think one of the only maybe outcomes that we've endured over this game that may be different, that Liquid wasn't like, oh, we can bank on this, is after they got the kill through mid, you know, Homicidal maybe overextending himself a little bit too long, trying to panic with the rest of the squad there, and that was to another flip out from Sport Billy and that double kill. But other than that, as you said, this is no accident that Liquid is in full control here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Still 4-0 when coming into the kills. And it's just heroics not even found. It's just so crazy how much we've already seen here. Team Liquid dominate.
We've got a technical issue that's being attended to now.
Bit of a screen flicker there for a moment.
Now we'll get that underway for HeroesHearth Dreadnought. It's 10, it's heroics, it's just 1 kill to get back into the game. Getting control over this is what they'll be looking to do. When we come back, we'll have those Web Weavers that will be pushing against them. They are nearing 10. It's just a matter of, do you get there quick enough before 1 fort falls? Because if you don't get it quick enough, that second fort will fall rapidly, even with 10s in response.
And as we talked about before this series started, both McIntyre and Hasuwab's working for some time to find themselves at the stage. And this game is going to send one of them home, Jay Howe.
Web Weavers have ascended onto the battleground. 10, a wave or 2 away for HeroesHearth, but you can see the positioning very cautious with Sport Billy trading out stuns there as Ishbu and Sport Billy on the Anubrak and Girash respectively. But here's where 1 fort already being threatened. Sonic Arrow will come down for even more clear, just trying to survive. And that bottom lane is even pressing too.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the
There we
Zero,
go.
though. That is where the play is going to happen, if anywhere. You already see all those pings out from Liquid. They know Dragon's Arrow is a bit of a whip there as it goes through the uprights. Howling Blast ends up landing. Lunar Flare out is the follow-up group out from Nurok. Homicidal is going to be the focus. He has to drop the bunker. Now Eternal there with another 2-man Howling Blast stops the retreat. Girash is able to get out of that cocoon. And Liquid, a lot of fireworks here, but no kills to be found.
The bottom has to be responded to, and Team Liquid instantly rotates up, and this is that double fort play they're looking to make if they get down. down. That will be that 13 to 11 window. And right now they've caught out Hami. No bunker this time. Salvo will come out. Hami will fall. That's going to be kill number 1. And Sport Billy on that Garrosh will walk away with 40 plus armor. Another root landed by Eternal. No follow-up there, but the damage done here for Team Liquid as they continue their assault with 5 kills to 0.
And it's very important to highlight that though that was maybe a moment where when you looked at the health bars where you're like, can HeroesHearth get a recovery here? Is this a 1-for-1 trade? That macro setup of the bottom lane pressure, the only reason HeroesHearth wasn't willing to commit any more resources is because Mac was too busy trying to get the clear on bottom. Understandably so, but let's just say that there's a Zeratul there and that pressure isn't there. Void Prison, turn it around, and I think HeroesHearth had a chance, but not able to make it happen there. J-How, it feels like this game is about one skirmish away, one turn-in away from getting out of control and HeroesHearth being sent home.
Well, that slow bought enough time for Ishbu to get the turn in. That's the first web weaver. If you're a HeroesHearth fan, you are very happy about that. But that 13 is now picked up by Team Liquid. Dread, this will buy back some experience. It will buy back time to get back into the game and get some experience to try to come back. But it's not just one turn in. They're going to need a second. They're going to need a team fight to start to make things happen. As Sport Billy just walks forward and is daring anybody on HeroesHearth to answer that call.
And because HeroesHearth has, struggled so heavily in wave clear and any kind of macro pressure at all, these web weavers are very not only easy to clear at certain moments with bottom spawning a mile back, mid being an easy cleanup for Liquid. It makes top very predictable when it comes to capabilities and the transitions out from HeroesHearth. So yes, the web weaver buying a bit of time and a bit of experience, but I would have liked to see them find a way to get that top lane pressure a bit more. Otherwise, Liquid is going to drop another web weaver phase, and I'm not sure HeroesHearth can rely on a 13 talent here.
Well, that bottom web weaver will be responded to by Eternal. See if HeroesHearth can maybe make a rotation here into the top, and Team Liquid will have none of it. They're positioning safe, deliberate, and in control here. It's HeroesHearth looking for an opening, an opportunity to take a team fight to get back into this.
Good input.
Might have it.
Lunar Flare, there's the Indomitable, but a Welly use. That's actually pulling the trigger a smidge early there from Hasuops. Not the biggest cooldown in the world, but it is something. At this level, J-How, we've learned, even if you don't have wave clear pre-4, that's a problem at the international stage at this caliber. So we'll see if HeroesHearth can find a way to get the upper hand. Still no 13. Impale comes through. There we see the Void Prison, the isolation, and Sport Billy's down.
There's number 1. They're on to Hasuops. Zoe, get the dive in. Krohn trying to make the play, but he's going to eat the response in the damage. The bunker will buy an escape option as McIntyre barely getting out of there. That's 1 kill though, Dreadnought. As good as it feels for HeroesHearth, that is just 1. They have enough for another turn-in. They need so much more.
They do need so much more, but we also have to bring up what we talked about in the draft. As this game moves on, that Zeratul-Malfurion matchup gets better and better for the Zeratul. Hold on, root there thrown out. Ishbu maybe in a bad spot. McIntyre with a threat onto the backline. Dragon Pharaoh again is going to be missing there. McIntyre trying to cut away, but he is slowed down. No teleport for a second. The Lunar Flare stays alive. There comes out the Salvo.
Salvo with the slow is going to be enough to get some damage in, and that's going to be 1 kill on the Krohn. And so far, that is 2 misses on the Dragon Arrow. If either of those lands, the fights could look entirely different, but Team Liquid making counterplay after counterplay will turn that fight.
It will turn the fight and continue mounting this pressure against HeroesHearth eSports. Not only in the structures and the kills early on, but now a 3rd web weaver phase. This will be able to pick up 16 talent tier for Team Liquid. HeroesHearth has to find a way within the window of getting the Void Prison to force a fight and win a fight. Otherwise, you're looking at keeps.
We'll see if Team Liquid can get there because they're also close to 16, which is a very big threat. Hasu has multiple options, whether he gets the root of his own or whether he goes into that armor reduction to try and blow somebody up. That is such a high impact talent tier for this Jaina as the Starfall will come down to try and get some wave clear. The Blizzard comes down. Team Liquid will move forward, and as one as these fall, 16 will be picked up momentarily. And now Team Liquid in the driver's seat, but HeroesHearth, they're holding for now.
Yeah, pretty good clear there over that as we see Homicidal make the transition down to be able to deal with that bottom lane. Keep your eyes on McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen. He has a lot of the threat when it comes to this anti-siege moment with the wormhole, like moving up, getting threat onto Hasu and friends. Howling Blast there used onto Krohn as McIntyre all's in just to get rid of that web weaver. Cocoon dropped, and now the focus here from Liquid goes towards the keep.
Keep starting to fall. Team Liquid just moving forward. If they get 1 kill, they'll look to get another. Try and control this. There's going to be the toss and the taunt.
Dragon.
The Dragon Arrow in response. The Nature's Cure will buy the soft cleanse there. We'll have a reset. More roots coming in from Eternal as the keep just being sieged upon this entire time will fall. That is a major advantage for Team Liquid.
A major advantage for Liquid, but the 16 window is realistic now. Actually, take a minute. No, it's not. Sport Billy with a groundbreaker. Bunker out too late. Homicidal now is going to be the next to lie victim at that hand, forcing out the Void Prison now from McIntyre. Things falling, crumbling here for HeroesHearth.
It's boss time, Dreadnought, with 2 members dead. No VP now. They are going to turn their attention towards that boss with that keep exposed. Mind you, this is an early boss. It does not guarantee, but the odds are high that Team Liquid might try and end the game with this boss push and move on into the round of 4.
And a lot of that is very realistic due to that lack of Void Prison from McIntyre. Normally a 14-minute boss on Tomb, you say 5 seconds of downtime, we can't handle this, we can't siege this. But now it is very realistic here to threaten it out. But as we talk
Web Weavers.
Web Weavers is a denial from HeroesHearth eSports, but this is just a kind of almost waste, if you will, of gems. 55 are gonna go in, but it's just to make sure that Liquid doesn't dominate with this boss control on top.
It feels bad because you have to make that call to defend, but Jaina just bursting through this. The boss push, Team Liquid moving forward, Dragon Arrow available if they look to take a fight. HeroesHearth in defense, the boss
Welly down.
Forward. Water Elementals out, the toss, the taunt, the root. They get the blow up onto Anubrak. They're gonna look for more. Team Liquid onto the core, trying to take this series right now.
They're looking to be able to take out the shields now onto the core. Jet propulsion there. We see the flip over. Arcaner shields falling low, but the full back. Bunker goes down 65%, and it looks like the damage is going to be there. J-How, it looks like Team Liquid will send home North America's #1 seed, HeroesHearth eSports, in a 2-1 victory.
Team Liquid just coming out, firing after game number 2, showing why they are one of the best that we have. And just so much control in those last 2 games. Amazing play by this team.
Really, this roster, as you talked about early before things kicked off, how it feels like they have come into their own at the most optimal, most prime time that they possibly could. And I think, again, to bring it back to that night camp rotation and decision-making on their end, moments like that and the ways to further that advantage as the game moves on, it's very much, you know, kind of a great display of that level of synergy that they have come to.
It's bittersweet if you're a HeroesHearth fan, but you've got to be proud of where they've come from. I mean, we've heard the story. They were in the audience last year watching, wondering if they could be here, find their way into the HGC, make their way as the #1 seed out of North America, coming here, and they just had a very tough test in Team Liquid, but a team that you can be proud of if you are an NA fan.
And on the other side, knowing that HeroesHearth has found his way towards BlizzCon to be able to stand here, and now knows that he has the opportunity to transfer on to tomorrow, day number 2 of BlizzCon. A statement that even fewer can say other than being able to compete at this level from Team Liquid. And I opened up and I said I had a little bit of doubt. I didn't know if they would have what it takes to take out HeroesHearth eSports, considering, you know, that kind of bumps and bruises they've had along the path. But they very much come in cool, calm, and collected.
Well, Dredd, you mentioned HeroesHearth. We actually have an interview with him. Kevin, take it away.
Thank you so much, J-How. That's right, I'm here with HeroesHearth from Team Liquid. Congratulations on the run back. That is massive, man. You were up against the wall. You brought it back. How are you feeling right now?
Awesome. Just feels very, very good.
Very good, man. Get me in the mindset of your team after that Game 1 loss. I know in a single elimination sort of bracket like this, that's do or die scenario. You came out with the Lost Vikings pick. I want to know how you decided that. Did you know going into the draft that was what you were going to do? Were you waiting to see how it played out? Was it something you prepared? Why the Lost Vikings there?
So first of all, credits to HeroesHearth for the first map. I think they played extremely well on it. They drafted well and they played their style like extremely good. It was really hard to find like any kind of picks or situations where we could get an advantage. Then the second map, yeah, we practiced Vikings. It's something that we used to do. This time Eternal was on it because we picked Jaina as well, and I'm usually playing the Jaina. And yeah, Eternal also has a StarCraft background, so he was actually doing tremendous work. Like I think he proxied bottom wave all the time, which gave us like a winning condition because they couldn't go through our bottom keep anymore. And yeah, just played out as we wanted it.
You played it perfectly. It was so cool to see the Vikings get a win as well, and you guys stay in the match. Now, of course, you move on to the round of 4. Dominant opponent there with Gen G. You took a game off of them in the open bracket. What's your mindset going into that? And maybe what also do you think led to that win last week as well?
I mean, we just played good, you know. Like, I think Gen G played very well, but so did we, and we managed to close it out. Yeah, we made it to the final day of BlizzCon, so tomorrow we just give our very best. Rich earlier said he wants to 3-hour us. I actually think he's a bit scared of us after losing a map against us, because we ruined their 10-0 group stage. So who knows? But yeah, we will do some good draft prep tonight, and yeah, then just play all out tomorrow, because there's nothing to lose.
Love to hear that, man. Congratulations. Now, we talked about how this is your first BlizzCon experience. Is it living up to what you expected? Is it more than that? What are your thoughts?
I mean, when I heard the chants for HeroesHearth, it was a bit scary, I have to say. It was much, much louder than I thought. But yeah, it's hype. It's just awesome to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. You move on to the round of 4. Team Liquid, guys, give it up for them. We're back to the desk.
The core of Team Liquid used to be a team known for barely qualifying and then doing amazingly on LAN. But then they also became known as the team that started to peter out toward the end of the year. In 2016, they were the most dominant European team, and then as it got closer and closer to BlizzCon, it got worse and worse and didn't qualify. Or 2017, then 2017 didn't even make it, and now here being able to make it was the first big test. Though we saw them at Western Clash, they fell to 2 North American teams on the first day, and one of those was the team they just got revenge against, Tetcher.
And that's got to feel so good, getting revenge against HeroesHearth here and being able to move on to the next round. And the fact is, Team Liquid played that so well. You guys were so right at the start of saying that if the HeroesHearth had got to 16, Malfurion would have been in serious trouble. But Team Liquid were able to get such an early advantage and position so well without giving away free kills. They're able to bring it home.
And the Johanna ban was so integral because of how much HeroesHearth suffered not having that wave clear to supplement with the kind of kill comp that they wanted.
Yeah, it very much was a huge setback, and a lot of the reason I think that you saw that ability to be able to snowball the game, and not taking anything away from Liquid. I think there were moments that you could see the nerves coming in, especially with players like Homicidal, but they never hesitated whatsoever to punish, be like, oh, he's out of position. Sport Billy's like, I got you, boys. Just here's a nice kill there. So it was very well done from Team Liquid, and it's exciting to see what they have here now, knowing they're going to be going up against Gen G.
Oh yeah, Hasuops talked about it. Maybe a little bit of fear from Gen G hearing from Rich. Maybe Rich saying that HeroesHearth could defeat Team Liquid J-How was just a clever way of getting into the heads of Team Liquid because they are the only team that got a win off of them in the group stage.
Yeah, it wasn't by accident. I went back and I watched that game after that week, and I'm like, Team Liquid just did play that good. I'm glad he said that because I'm like, I don't think they did anything special. I don't think that was Gen G playing bad. There was one moment where Rich got caught out, and that might have been the worst play Gen G made all game. But Team Liquid just played that well on that map to take that game. So I would not be surprised if they take games in that series. The series itself, though, a very tall task against a team like Gen G.
Well, with HeroesHearth eSports dropping out of the tournament, there is one sole remaining North American hope, and they're going to need your energy because they're up against one of the tournament favorites, Team Dignitas, after the break.